right, and we are back for round number 2 of qualifier number 3 for season 8 of Champions of the Fog, and we are going to be seeing Vice's Killer versus Misery's Survivor team, and they have brought the Wraith to the Dead Dog Saloon. Wraith taking the bushes, seeing if there is a survivor nearby, instead finding the Nancy at the window here, who will get a little bit of distance. However, Wraith with their bamboozle will bamboozle us apparently, as not sure if that was spectator side or not, but either way is getting the hit on the Nancy, applying a sloppy butcher. Seeing that quite often right now. Looks like Nancy trying to mind game here, not able to do so successfully. The Wraith missing not just the Zarina for the body block, but also the Nancy too. A bit of an aggressive swing there, but they will get the injury nonetheless. And looks like Nancy here, maybe not knowing about Bamboozle, will vault the window, and Wraith going to go for the down. A bit of a mind game, and will successfully do so, as we see Ace here on the gallows. Wraith unable to get the hit though, as they will be able to dodge the hit and get some distance further away. Really well played there by the Wraith and survivors alike. Ace here trying to take a body block, but Wraith not gonna go for it, as they will end up getting a hook here, and a Scourge Choke Pain Resonance, regressing most progress gen by 25%. Looks like Wraith's gonna be going for the Ace here. No Bamboozle this time around. Ace gonna be going for the pallet drop, and no insta break even with the Shadow Dance and Swift Hunt. Looks like they are going to be going back to the unhook here, going through Shack maybe to block the pallet. Looks like we have refound the Nancy, and this kind of raises the question, as I raised before, do you go for the unhook and early tunnel out, or do you go for the early regression with Scourge Hook Pain Resonance? And it looks like Wraith has chosen the Nancy and gets the hit through the pallet. That is always an unfortunate sight for a survivor, but a boon to every killer when they do get pallet betrayed. However, hooking them here on the Scourge Hook a little bit dangerous if you do end up pushing them to Death Hook. That would get rid of one of your 4 Scourge Hooks that are throughout the map. That in mind, Wraith going for the quick break and checking these gens. Survivors doing a fantastic job cranking out these generators, though. Another mind game from the Wraith coming in, getting the Ada, and looks like they will be going back to the unhook. 3 survivors currently injured, 4 people from the Ace, and Wraith realizing that they need to disengage and go for some regression here. Will find the Ada, but Ada narrowly dodging that hit. Looks like Wraith thinking about cloaking back up, but with no pallets in sight, Ada will go down, and looks like we will be seeing some regression on that gen that she was working on earlier. Question is there a Scourge Hook nearby? Looks like Wraith trying to figure that out themselves. Will get them to the one next to Gallows. Both gens pretty well progressed too. This is a strong 3 gen, no Scourge Hook on the Ada, and looks like Wraith kind of stuck in a bit of a position here, not having any other regression perks, as Wraith will get hit by that Blast Mine, getting stunned and blind. They will instead go for the 2.5% regression in addition to 0.3% per second thereafter. No sign of Ada's saviors so far, but Water Wheel being completed right underneath the Wraith's nose, and that is an injured Ace, but surprisingly enough, Wraith not going to be going for it, as we do see instead a Nancy going for the unhook. They have been hooked once before, so no Scourge Hook potential for the Nancy. Ada taking the body block. Wraith going to be going for the BT hit. Will take it. Ada with the drop to ensure Wraith cannot follow them, as we do see main generator being completed. That is now 3 generators for these survivors. They're doing a fantastic job. A bit of a mind game here for the Wraith, and they will successfully get the mind game, as they get a lot of distance here for the Nancy. But Nancy, being wiser about the hay bale tech, will not fall for it here, as the Wraith will eat a pallet, and Nancy being pushed further back into the corner here. Nancy with the Firecracker. Wraith trying to dodge the blind, but losing a lot of distance and line of sight on the Nancy. Nancy doing a fantastic job there. And it sounds like these gens do have a bit of progression, but the Wraith gonna take their time breaking down some resources here, as we do see what look to be scratch marks over here on that building. However, Ace being found out here. Looks like this would be a time for a potential head-on play if they're able to set it up, but Ace taking a hit and will end up having a lucky break, it looks like, as they are nowhere to be seen. Unfortunate for the Wraith, but lucky for the Ace, though Ace a little bit less lucky here, as they do end up running into the Wraith once again, though looks like that lucky break still coming into play, making things hard for the Wraith. Lucky break running out now, and it would seem that their luck may have run out, though once again vaulting down. Ace kind of bamboozling the Wraith here. Can't really use bamboozle if you're vaulting multiple windows. Wraith's gonna have to do something soon, as these survivors are gonna be working on these gens in this 3-gen as we speak. Ada trying to make their way back, going back to this tried and true pallet, but didn't work out well for them last time. I doubt it will here again today, as there's no pallets nearby for the Ada to get to. Looks like there's one here in front of main, but for what it's worth, they will take the hit and run away. Wraith cannot leave their 3-gen lest they end up losing it. We do see the Zarina here as well, with a bounce landing, making a ton of distance into main, but not enough to avoid taking it from the Wraith. Wraith knowing full well that they cannot commit to the chase at main, will end up dropping it and seeing if they can protect this gen here, which has little to no progression. Much like the Wraith, I was thinking that there's going to be a lot more progression here, but it looks like Gallows has been their main target, as it does have 3 cylinders. Survivors taking some time to reset here, giving the Wraith a little bit of time to regress these gens at 2.5% per kick, as there are no other gen regression perks outside of Scourge Hook Pain Resonance. Full reset here by the survivors through the mangled stat provided by a sloppy butcher. We do see the Zarina here, who I do not think has been hooked on a Scourge Hook so far. So Wraith gonna be going for them. I think they'll have enough distance, but now they're gonna be at the mercy of main building. They need to break some of these breakable walls in order for them to take chases here, lest Bamboozle losing all of its potency. But looks like survivors are back on Gallows. We see 2 survivors up here. Ace dropping down, no bounce landing from them. And looks like it might be a sprint burst instead, though. No, maybe not. Maybe I'm mistaken on that one, as Ace will make some distance over towards Shaq, though. The thing is, no Shaq pallet here for the Ace. Bamboozle in the Wraith's hands, and looks like Wraith with the mind game will successfully land it, and this here will be the down on the Ace. Really well played there by the Wraith. 2 gens remaining. I'm worried about that Gallows gen, though, as we will see another Scourge Hook Pain Resonance. The question is, which one did it hit? Though looks like Wraith will find the Ada back here on this gen. Ada not wanting to give up on this gen whatsoever, no matter how many times it takes. And we will see the unhook there on the Ace, as Ada does get Sloppy Butcher reapplied, and it looks like Zarina back on Gallows with the bounce landing in hand. Wraith, knowing this full well, will not really be able to commit to much in the way of a chase. However, looks like Wraith has found some scratch marks, make their way towards the back. However, all the gens but one has been completed, and I don't know if survivors would 99 that, so that way they can avoid Scourge Hooks on the 3-gen, or if they would just complete it and try and crank through these gens bit by bit. That is an interesting question, one of which I do not have an answer for. Wraith once again with a little bit of connectivity issues, methinks, as they do bounce around here and there, but seeming to stabilize as they do get some kicks in on these gens. Survivors once again resetting. We're kind of seeing this back and forth dance between the killer and these survivors. I think, honestly, if the Wraith was smart, they would use this time to start breaking down some of the resources that these survivors have available to them, especially in the main building, as they seem that to be a very difficult place for the Wraith to chase these survivors. We see Ace elsewhere. We see the Wraith trying to mind game the Zarina and her bounce landing, but she is all but gone. Wraith, though, getting in front of her. I think they get the hit here if they do uncloak, but they need to uncloak a little bit earlier. Lest the Zarina does get the vault, but still landing the hit. Wraith, though, satisfied with that chase, will break off and will now pursue a survivor on one of their 3 gens. Looks like no one around those. Zarina potentially calling out the disengagement from the Wraith. And looks like they are making their way back here. Sounded like a potential skill check miss. There's the Ada. This is a fantastic spot for Wraith to be if they can follow up and get a quick down. Wraith with the vault. This pallet very unsafe. The railing just not the place you want to be. And Ada will go down very quickly. This is exactly what the Wraith wanted. However, they do need to be concerned about 2, if not 3 survivors on one of their 3 gens. We'll have to wait and see if this pays off in their favor, as Wraith will now make their way back. Gallows pretty well regressed. Ace on Ada's gen, about 2 cylinders in. What does the third one look like is the question. However, Wraith not concerned about it, will go for the hit on the Ace, successfully hitting it. 3 survivors currently injured. This once again giving the Wraith a little bit of time to regress these gens, reduce some resources. And only about 2 cylinders. For what it's worth, even though the Wraith does not have any other gen regression perks outside of Scourge Pain Resonance, they're doing a really good job maintaining this 3 gen. I think the only thing that they need to do otherwise is just reduce resources throughout the map bit by bit, making these chases more and more deadly for these survivors. And with 1 heal in, looks like Wraith will take a look around. And going back to the gen here that Ada was working on. But this is still regressing. I think that may have been the Scourge Pain Resonance hitting it. Once again, surprised that they're not breaking those pallets throughout the map that have since been thrown. Though, finding the Nancy, looks like this is her assigned gen, making her way towards the main building for what it's worth, but Wraith taking a quick hit. We see what looks to be both the Ada and the Ace as well over in the main building. But Wraith gonna take their time, be patient, play it by the book, kick the gen to regress it even further. Ace, though, coming in a little bit hot here. No resources for them, and they are going to take the hit. Wraith looking around to see if there's any other survivors nearby, but doesn't appear to be the case. Wraith going to pursue the chase. The question is, does the Ace get to a window in time? Going for the one upstairs is not the play, though. We've seen this before. Ace going down. Pretty much 1-for-1 recreation of what Zarina did. And taking that hit through the window as well, as Ace will be hooked near this 3 gen, making it that much easier for the Wraith to manage these survivors and these gens. Fantastic job from the Wraith and Vice's team, as we do see these survivors once again working on these gens. 3 cylinders in, and a blast mine from one of them too. Definitely a pain to the Wraith, though not as bad as what it used to be, as it used to uncloak them as well and give them that stun timer. However, Wraith going to uncloak, pursuing the Ace. The Ace has nothing nearby. No pallets except for this one. That's really unfortunate for the Wraith, and kind of what I was talking about earlier. I'm surprised that they have not been reducing resources, breaking them while the survivors reset, because of the exact thing there, where if they did not have that pallet, Wraith could have waited out the full 10 seconds, ensuring that they were to get the tunnel out down. But Ada here, working on the gen, just about completed. She takes the hit, but the Wraith cannot leave it lest their 3 gen get broken, but no, it gets broken anyways. Zarina and Nancy coming in clutch, and I imagine Ada, even while injured, will probably finish that last gen as well. Wraith catching up to the Nancy, but not before making it to the pallet. Nancy gonna be going for the vault here, and a cheeky swing from the Wraith, but it will connect, as they did not go for the window, instead going for the W key. Wraith trying to get this down as quickly as possible, and will body block. No, not getting the body block in time. Nancy able to secure the vault. That is huge here for the Nancy. However, they're not going to have many resources here. They do reset the Ada. Surprised they have not completed that 5th generator, as Nancy will end up going down here. Really, really well played here by the survivors and the Wraith alike. Looks like that is the 5th generator and the heal on the Ace. This is looking like a potential 2-man out as the Wraith will find the Ada here on this exit gate. We'll have to wait and see what the final number of hooks is and what the final score is, as well as Ada will successfully stun the Wraith there. Ace trying to open up the exit gate behind the Wraith. And looks like they are going to make a little bit of distance here. Ada making their way towards the other exit gate. Ace with the slow fold, it looks like, for the mind game. And a bit of a misplay there by the Wraith as they do recloak. Trying to get the hit. Will successfully do it right at the edge of the hitbox. Question is, where does the Ace go? But Wraith instead going to be dropping chase, going for the Ada here. They sense that the Ada in a bit more of a desperate position here on this exit gate will take the hit, not dropping the pallet. They need a body block now, but the question is, can the only healthy Survivors Arena be able to come in for that? We see the locker play, ensuring that the Wraith does secure the pick, and EGC beginning as we do see the 2-man out for the Zarina and the Ace. Well played by both teams, and a 2K8 hook here for the Wraith. Really well done. This is going to be a very close match here in trial number 2 of round 2 of Season 8 qualifier number 3. All right, and we are back for trial number 2, round number 2 of qualifier number 3 for Champions of Fog Season 8. And not sure if that's a spectator bug or what that I'm seeing there in the middle of the screen, where it's kind of flickering in and out. Not sure if chat sees that too. If you do, let me know so I know that I'm not going crazy. With that being said, Wraith is now in chase with the Nia, doing a much better job doing some home remodeling, making it a bit more difficult for these survivors to do much of anything. However, going into the main building does mean that the Wraith cannot bamboozle that drop down there. That is probably the most important window or wall to break. The Wraith missing on the auto aim right there. However, Nia kind of getting caught out here as they do make their way towards this pallet. Question is whether or not they're going to be able to get the pallet stun. They do not, but do they have the life? They do not, but Wraith going for a bit of a spicy lunge, unable to land it as they will finally land the hit. Corrupted Invention about 2/3 of the way completed, and not really a 3-gen here for the Wraith to defend, as you do see 2 survivors on this generator and a missed skill check regressing gen by 10%. We see Ducky here doing a fantastic job managing these survivors so far, who are aware of a sloppy Butcher, and looks like they will end up getting another hit as well. 3 survivors currently injured, and a kick to the gen for good measure. Looks like they will stalk around again, trying to find where these survivors may have gone. And looks like they have found what sounds to be the Ace and the Nia, who barely gets a heal in at the last moment. Wraith getting a little bit greedy there, not going for the survivor that was at the pallet. And looks like they will be going back to Gallows to check on if there's any survivors here, but no sign of them so far. Really well done by the Wraiths thus far, managing these survivors. We do see a potential body block opportunity missed there by the Wraith, as Ace does get by to the pallet. Wraith going for the early vault there, not wanting to bamboozle the other window, as Ace does make the way towards Shaq. We will see the Wraith bamboozle this one though, forcing the Ace to drop the pallet, but no, going to the next one. Ace is going to be very greedy here, but for good reason, knowing that they can get that distance back to Shaq if need be. But this is a questionable decision, as we see the head-on barely missed the Wraith. Unfortunate for these survivors, as that would have been a clutch play to say the least. And looks like Wraith gonna be looking around for a hook, bringing them to this middle hook here, a bit central between a couple different gens, but on top of which, this here is a Scourge hook, Pain Resonance, which has regressed Gallows by 25%. Nia, though, dropping down. Let's see if they have the bounce landing. They have something at the very least. They did make a grunt on dropping, could very well have been a 99 sprint burst, allowing them to get a little bit of distance. And looks like they will pursue the chase here as Nia will pre-drop the pallet. Wraith gonna go for the quick break and pushing Nia back over towards this corner. Not a lot in the way of resources here remaining, so Nia gonna have to make a decision to go into main after that hit. However, looks like another survivor trying to keep that gen from regressing any further will harass it, drawing the Wraith off the chase and bring them over towards the water wheel. Really well played here by the survivors so far. We do see a pallet not being pre-dropped here, and looks like they are going to be a bit greedy. Wraith trying to go for the fake out there with the Wailing Bell. However, looks like they will Bloodlust 1, going for the drop, will get the hit over the pallet. Really good patience being shown here by Ducky the Wraith, and looks like they will make it into here, but without anything. I think that will be the down. As we say all the time, mid vaults are a gift to every killer, and we see it here again today. Really well played here by the Wraith. Once again, looking around for a Scourge Hook Pain Resonance to regress the most progressed gen by 25%. They're in a very strong position, and to provide you with the win condition, they are looking for a 3K at 5 gens completed. If Ducky can secure that, they will secure victory here for Misery in round number 2 of a 3-round series. With that being said, Wraith looking around, trying to identify where these survivors might be. They did reset, and we see Scratch Marks going for the unhook. Looks like Wraith will pursue the unhooker here, though Blood drawing them away. There's the Yui making their way towards the main building. Not a place to be, though, for the Wraith, who has not done enough home remodeling for it to be a worthy chase. However, Renato here up in Gallows will get a bit of distance here, though not enough, as the Wraith is going to try and body block them here at this pallet. Renato trying to get around, but will not be able to do so in time, as Wraith will get the hit. Expertly done there by the Wraith, who will push the Renato into Shaq. There's the pallet stun, which will give them an additional stun time there, as they were stunned out of cloak. Something that is really important to know. And looks like they will get blinded by a Blast Mine, as Wraith will now go to main building, seeing both the Renato and the Yui here, and looks like they will get hit down. Really well played by the Wraith, to say the least, and looks like they are going to complete a second generator. These survivors not going down without a fight here today, as we will see another Scourge Hook Pain Resonance, regressing most progressed gen by 25%. Sounds like that may have been Gallows, but hard to say for certain. And we will see insta-breaks coming in here for the Wraith, reducing resources throughout the map, trying to slow things down for these survivors. A bit of a mind game there on the Nia, who will make the vault in time. However, bit of a strange place for the Wraith to be, as Nia will vault into them, but a life getting them away in the nick of time. Not sure if that was intended or not, but it worked out in the survivor's favor, who will end up revolting. A hit here on the Nia. 3 survivors injured with a Sloppy Butcher and a Unhook 2. The question is, does the Wraith commit to the chase or not? And looks like they will be content with the pallet break, as we do see the 3rd gen popping off here. 2 gens remaining. Like we said, the Wraith needs a true 3K here, and they will get the down on the Renato. Only gen regression left is one more Scourge Hook Pain Resonance, which I believe is reserved for the Ace. We'll have to wait and see. And let's see here, as Renato will get hooked for the 2nd time. 1 hook away from being sent back to campfire via the entity. Wraith going for a mind game here, but Ace with the balanced landing, not even going for the unhook. Instead, just going to be running into main, forcing the Wraith to make some unfortunate decisions, either kick the gen or go for the chase. Alright, and looks like Wraith going to be up in main, but as you made note before, it's not the place to be. They need to break some key doors here, lest Bamboozle loses all potency, and you don't want to be an M1 killer in the main building of Dead Dog Saloon without a Bamboozle in hand. However, fantastic mind game here from Ducky the Wraith, who will get that hit on the ace. Only one survivor currently healthy and available to come in for this unhook, and even then it would be a 1-for-1 trade. Yui getting healed, but only 10 seconds left until the survivor unhook does progress to death, though Ace getting caught out of nowhere. This could be huge, though they might sacrifice the death hook here on survivor unhook. They will successfully get their last Scourge hook. We do see Yui getting caught up here and will take the hit. One survivor on ground, 3 injured in total. Nia only 1 healthy, and looks like they will go back for the ace, who I imagine crawling to a safer place. Yep, there they are, but not going to be for long, as the Wraith will get the pickup. And looks like they're going to try and drag them for that Scourge hook here over next to Gallows. If someone comes in for a body block, this could be a dire situation for them, but we see the Nia creeping around, but not daring for it. Also, my mistake, no Scourge hook on the ace. Not sure who is the remaining survivor. Let's take a look real quick to confirm. And looks like it is, in fact, the Nia. The Nia is the one survivor, but Yui going down, trying to avoid the Wraith there. Renato unable to get the body block. This is huge for the Wraith as things start to snowball out of control, out of these survivors' hands. So many survivors left on Death Hook. I think actually 3 survivors now on Death Hook. This actually is a prime position for the Wraith to be in. All they need to do is kill these 3 survivors and they will secure victory here for Misery. Ace, though, we've seen it before, my friend. We're seeing it again here against the Wraith, who gets that additional sprint after the uncloak, can just not make that window in time. You try your best, but Wraith gets you every single time. Lesson learned for all you survivors out there as well. First kill down, 2 to go. 2 more hooks is all they need, and that will secure victory here for Misery in round 2 of qualifier number 3. Wraith looking around, trying to see if there's a survivor nearby this gen. So far, nothing. No sign of them on Gallows either. We'll take a look at the water wheel, which has little to no progression, though Wraith going to give it a quick pick just in case. Wraith in a very good position, though not a 3-gen or arguably a 4-gen. The gens are close enough together, if in line of sight and within earshot, that they are going to be able to get a ton of information by passing through these. We do see Nia going for the vault, and they will not be able to get it, as they will take the hit. No pallet either to gain them any distance. Scratch marks going past Wraith, though, towards Gallows. I imagine Wraith will disengage. And sounds like Renato dropping down from the second platform there. There is a pallet over here that they can use to their advantage. However, Wraith will insta-break it, reducing the resources back here in this corner. And looks like Wraith will pursue the Renato, going for the hit here, will secure it. The question is, will they commit to the chase? Looks like they are content with the hit and run strat here, having these survivors waste their time with the likes of Sloppy Butcher. However, no drop down there, and looks like we do have a healed Nia. The question is where this Renato may have gone. And once again, still thinking that the Wraith needs to break some of these doors here in main building, lest they are unable to take any chases. We see the Renato healed as well, Nia healed here in addition. And looks like the Yui, all 3 survivors here off of gens. This is huge for the Wraith. Wraith, though, missing their hit. Nia doing a fantastic job keeping the Wraith busy for just a little while. However, if Nia goes down, that is a Scourge Hook paying residence in order to regress the most progressed gen by 25%. Nia, though, in main building, as we said, not the place the Wraith wants to be. Breaking this door is the right move. Fantastic shout out there by the Wraith. Nia going to go for the drop down. And looks like maybe a sprint burst getting Nia a little bit of distance for what it's worth. However, pallet here going to be just in the nick of time as Wraith misses it. That's exactly what they needed to extend this chase. Wraith, though, content with the hit, will drop chase now. Going to take a look at these gens, make sure they are not progressing. And looks like a little bit of progress here, but the crow's still nearby, which means either survivors crouched down or just has left a long, long time ago. Honestly, these Survivors doing a fantastic job kind of managing these chases. Wraith being very patient, wanting to secure the win here for their team. Ducky, though, going to go for the hit here on the Renato. Renato going to be able to vault, and Renato wasting time by bullying the Wraith, as we call it. But Wraith getting the body block in. Renato taking the hit and in a bit of a awkward position as they're unable to get back to the loop and the top of main. Great job here by the Wraith here, but not going to commit to the Renato. Once again, concerned that these gens are just too well progressed. Nia going to go for the vault here, will successfully get it. Wraith, though, going to be going around and trying to go for the mind game here on the Nia. And looks like Nia going to be holding their ground, but once again, falling victim to the Wraith. No life this time, though, to get them out of dodge, as Wraith will commit to this chase. Not a lot of resources here for the Nia to work with. This is going to be huge if the Wraith can get the down here, and looks like they are going to, as this is going to be a Scourge Hook Pain Resonance, but Wraith not going for the hook, instead going to slug them out. I'm not sure if they're the right move. Nia is 3 points. In addition to a Scourge Hook Pain Resonance, the Renato injured off of Gallows is on Death Hook as well. So either choice is going to be huge. They get the Yui off for the body block, and now Wraith going to be content with that, will chase the Yui. A Firecracker there to try and blind the Wraith. Yui trying to go for the window fake, but not in the right position, as they will end up going down. Wraith, though, not content with that, and that alone will now go and try and find the Renato, who last time we saw them was in this back corner. No sign of them, though. Wraith checking every nook and cranny, passing by the lockers too. I think, honestly, going here for the pickup on the Nia or on the Yui is the right move. You remove a survivor from the game, getting you that much closer to the win condition, but Ducky wants the 4K. They are not wanting to relent. They are searching for this Renato high and low, and no sign of them. They can't be too greedy now, lest they end up losing out on all the pressure that they've gained. But looks like Wraith will, in fact, pick up the Yui. This will send it back to the campfire via the entity, leaving just the Renato and the Nia in the trial to try and get these next 2 generators. But I think it is all for naught. The only way that, even then, I don't think so. I think they need to get these last 2 gens. I'm trying to think if there's any alternate win conditions for these survivors. I think they need to somehow get these next 2 gens and then an escape for not just the Yui, or not just the Nia, but the Renato too. So things are looking a bit grim here, as we do see Nia still on the ground. Renato hiding out with 1 hook stage to give. And for what it is worth, we are going to see a Scourge Hook Pain Resonance on the Nia, progressing the most progression by 25%. Though, actually, correction, we do not, as Nia's going to be hooked on a plain old regular hook, and Renato's still nowhere to be seen. Honestly, Ducky has secured victory. I see no reason for them to not just face camp the Nia here and wait for their timer to tick on down. But Wraith taking a extra long listen on these lockers, seeing if maybe there is a Renato sneaking on by, but does not appear to be the case. About 30 seconds until Nia does progress to second stage. No sign of the Renato in the area. I'd imagine if, oh, hold on 1 second. That's blood on the ground. The Renato making their way. Wraith with the body block, and that there will be the 4K for Misery and Ducky. Fantastic job here by both teams, and by Ducky the Wraith, who will who will claim victory here for their team in round number 2. With that being said, we are going to get round number 3 set up in just a little bit. But before we do want to remind everyone here today that you, yes, you, the viewers, are our sponsors.